Okay, this is the U.S. and China, turn 2. China has 10 IPCs to spend. The Burma Road is closed, so they can only buy infantry. So they'll buy 3 infantry for 9, and they'll save an IPC for next turn. Remember, the American economy is split. So on the Pacific side, well, I should explain the Atlantic side first. One of the neat little rules in this variant of the game is that for the first 4 rounds, if the Americans choose to spend 10 IPCs at the beginning of the turn, they can get any technology that any other country has. They're going to take the naval shipyard technology from the Japanese. Not take it from them, but like get it as well. And that'll cost $10. Now, that does affect both sides of the board. The propaganda didn't. The propaganda only affected the Pacific side of the board, but the shipyards are effective for both sides. So what that means is that all of the ships that they're going to buy this turn are discounted. Small ships are discounted by $1, and capital ships are discounted by 3 IPCs. So with the 25 IPCs that the Atlantic United States has left, Atlantic side of the United States has left, they're going to purchase three transports at 6 IPC each for 18, which will leave them 7 IPCs, which is enough for a discounted destroyer. So that's what they're going to be purchasing on the Atlantic side. On the Pacific side, they have 21 IPCs to spend. They're going to spend 5 on a discounted sub, 6 on a discounted transport, and 7 on a discounted destroyer. So that's 7 and 6 is 13, plus 5 is 18, which leaves them 3 IPCs left over to buy an infantry unit. In terms of attacks, the Americans still can't attack because they're not at war, but the Chinese are going to make war against the Japanese in 2 locations. They're going to come into Kwaichao with the 2 infantry and the 2 artillery from Shenxi, and they're going to come into Yunnan with everything from Sichuan. So that's 4 infantry, 2 artillery, and a fighter. Now this may result in some retreats because I don't know if we have enough pieces, but we'll see how it goes. The attacks for the Chinese went disastrously last turn, but we'll see if that might change this turn. So let's roll some dice. Okay, for the attack on Kwaichao, the Chinese are coming in with 2 infantry and 2 artillery for 4 2s. And they hit with 2 of them. And the Japanese are defending with a tank and 2 mechanized infantry. The mechanized infantry have already been killed. And they got 1 hit. So obviously they're going to keep going against the tank. So that's 2 2s, and they hit. So the tank has been destroyed. It does get a defense and misses. So China takes the territory with only 1 casualty this time. Much better result than last time. For the attack on Yunnan, the Chinese are coming in with the American volunteer fighter, 2 supported infantry with 2 artillery, and 2 unsupported infantry. So 3 4 2s and 2 1s. Two hits. It's probably not going to be very effective, but we killed 2 Japanese units. The Japanese are defending with 6 infantry, an artillery, and a tank. So that's 1 3 and 7 2s. Only 1 hit. Well, that was extraordinarily lucky. So I guess we'll keep going. See what happens. Okay. 3 hits. Very good. So 1 2 3 are killed. So we got tank, 4 infantry, 1 artillery. Oh, 4 hits. 1 2 3 4. I think it might be time to retreat at this point because we do not want to lose the plane. So I think we will do so. But we did get a fair number of Japanese troops out of that. So that's good. I mean, obviously, the fewer troops that Japan has on the ground, the better it is for the Allies. But they will retreat from this back into Szechuan with the one remaining artillery piece. Okay, in terms of non-combat moves, the fighter plane is going to land back in Szechuan. And in terms of movement in the Atlantic, there is none for the Americans, but in the Pacific there are a few moves. The fighter from the fighter base at Guam is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and land on the carrier in C-Zone 26. To make room for that, the fighter that's already on the carrier will land in Hawaii. The transport ship with the 2 infantry and the destroyer from C-Zone 48 will go to C-Zone 26 and drop off the infantry in Hawaii. The submarine from C-Zone 10 will go to C-Zone 26 and join the rest of the fleet, while one of the transports from C-Zone 26 will go back to C-Zone 10 in anticipation of picking up some additional troops. So that's it for non-combat. Let me tidy up the board and we'll be right back. Okay, placement of new units for the Americans. Their new destroyer in the Atlantic is going to go in C-Zone 101, as are their 4 brand new transports. So they're all sorted there. In the Pacific, in C-Zone 10, are going to go the new destroyer, the new submarine, and the new transport ship, along with an additional infantry in the western United States. The Chinese forces will be placed as follows: 1 infantry in Kansu, 1 infantry in Shenxi, 1 infantry in Szechuan. Oh, sorry, I forgot to move this guy back. All right, in terms of income, there is only one change to be made, and that's the Chinese liberating Kwaichao. So on the income tracker, China goes from 5 to 6, and Japan goes from 35 to 34. So, just while we're on the income tracker, China has 6. The Pacific United States has 17, and the Atlantic United States has 35. So I have that money laid out here. This is the 6 IPCs that China's going to get, plus the 1 IPC they saved for last time, so they'll have 7 IPCs. The Atlantic side of the board for the Americans will receive the 35 IPCs that they received before. The Pacific side, however, has the 17 IPCs, but they do have propaganda, so they get to roll 2 of these, and they will take the higher amount, 6. So they are going to get, they have 17, they're going to get 6. That's 23 IPCs that they'll end up with on the Pacific side of the board. So 23 IPCs. Okay, so in terms of disposition of forces for the Americans, in C-Zone 101, there are 4 transports, 3 destroyers, and 1 fully loaded carrier with 2 fighters on it. We have a tactical bomber in the eastern United States, 4 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 tank, and 2 mechanized infantry. In the western United States, there are 3 infantry and 1 mechanized infantry. In C-Zone 10, there are 2 transports and a sub and a destroyer. In C-Zone 25, there is a destroyer, and in C-Zone 26, there's a fully loaded carrier with a fighter and a tactical bomber. There are 2 transports, 3 subs, 1 destroyer, and 2 battleships. In Hawaii, we have an anti-aircraft artillery, a regular artillery, a strategic bomber, a fighter, and 5 infantry. In China, there is 1 infantry in Kansu, 1 infantry in Shenxi, 1 infantry and 2 artillery in Kwaichao, 1 infantry, 1 artillery, and 1 fighter in Sichuan. So that's the United States' turn. Italy is going to be up next, and they can now violate neutrality. It is turn 2, so we'll see if they perform any attacks.